Loktargar. Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, everyone's favorite Orc Warrior, and it's time for another Orc Mode workout. And yeah, it's my Friday workout, my final workout of the week, and I pulled the deadlifts out today. Mainly because they're really just technique work and hook grip training right now. And my lower back felt really fatigued. It was a little crampy when I woke up, so I decided to take them out. And that was kind of a debate for me of, do I want to take out the deadlifts or do I want to take out the press? Because I find the overhead press, the standing press, is one of the toughest exercises on my lower back. Possibly in some cases more so than the deadlift. I guess it really depends, you know, how I'm feeling that day. Squats for me are not taxing on my lower back, and I know that's funny because people are always like, well, you have some forward lean in your squat, you have good morning, it's got to be tough on your back. I don't feel squats in my back at all. Even these squats I do right now, I feel them completely in my quads and in my hips. Like, I don't feel any work being done anywhere else in my body at all. Zero. I feel it exclusively in the quads and the hips. So again, it's because those are possibly my weakest muscles, and I have a ridiculously strong back. Again, you guys have seen me do high reps with 500 pounds on a beltless deadlift before. You guys watch me easily pull 575 for a single with no grinding. I mean, I've got a pretty strong back relative to a lot of my other lifts. So it shouldn't come as a surprise that it just doesn't feel worked on the squat. So if anything, sometimes a little bit of the lean you guys see from me is a sign of quad weakness. My back can handle it. So I don't feel anything in my back. So even though my back was a little crampy, it didn't feel any different when doing squats. So I went ahead and just did all my sets. I got all of them today. Kind of had to dig in a little bit, breathe deep to finish it up. Because I think like that final set, that third set felt tough. Felt tough. But I felt really good about dips today. I mean, this training every other day, in a lot of ways, is easier. Yeah, it's more volume in one workout, but it's like I try to tell people, doing a lot of training in one day really isn't that difficult. It's doing the big lifts consecutively, back to back to back, that's hard. Like, I find this, and some people are shocking, because a lot of people are like, man, that Bulgarian training, that's easy. Come in and just hit a squat max every day, hit a max on like 3 lifts a day. Maybe an accessory lift, that's nothing, that's easy. Try doing rep work. I'm gonna tell you guys right now, your 4th day, 5th day in a row hitting a max squat, is that single squat by itself is harder than coming in and doing a 3x5 or even a 3x10 on a couple of big lifts or a few lifts in one day. All right, and I'm telling you guys, as somebody who you've seen do both on camera, this is easier. This is way easier. Like, I could coast through this. This is not hard training at all. Think whatever you want about it, but yeah, to come in and do some squats, some weighted dips, some weighted pull-ups, even close to failure, and then maybe some pressing and curls or whatever. Dude, that's nothing. This is so easy in comparison. Like, it almost feels like a break. So that's how I'm viewing it, because this is just basically just training for a little bit of volume combined with strength, trying to use a moderately heavy weight, just to get enough volume to try to hold on to my muscle or stimulate some growth on my training days, so that in my other 4 days of the week when I'm in a caloric deficit, I don't lose too much muscle, hopefully. And that's the idea. But yeah, as I promised, I went ahead and I bumped the dips another 10 pounds, and I got more than 5 reps on my last set. So we'll see how this goes. As I lose weight, and depending on how my bench strength goes, I might need to go ahead and keep increasing these as I'm able to. But at this point, I mean, I did 2 sets of 5 with the 80, and then I did a set of 6, I believe, for the final set. So I'm pretty comfortable with this weight. I think it's a good working weight. I could stand to try to increase it a little bit. Squats right now are tough. Even haven't added those micro plates. I'm feeling it. I mean, for sets of 5, because I don't do sets of 5. You know, I'm normally a really low rep guy, so these moderate reps, you know, working up in the 4 to 6 for me, the moderate rep range, isn't something I'm used to these days again. So I'm really getting some new training stimulus out of it, which is probably what I need, that additional training stimulus with the caloric deficit, you know. And yeah, what I'm noticing though, each week, I usually swoosh on Mondays at my lightest, and then it goes up a bit. It hasn't gone up that much. I'm only up to 221 this morning. And I mean, I eat a little heavier. I'm going to treat myself a little bit today. Not a cheat day per se, but I am probably going to go out at some point today and eat. It'll be fairly healthy food though. So I mean, I'll get a little extra food in, and you know, so the scale will probably bump up a little bit. I'll probably pick up a pound or two, and then come Monday, it'll probably swoosh down. I'm hoping, let's cross our fingers, come Monday to try to hit 218. We'll see if I can be down at 218 this coming Monday. That's the goal, and I think what I eat this weekend will pretty much determine it. I'm not really going to restrict my food on my training days because I'm going to need it for recovery, but those other 4 days, that Tuesday, that Thursday, that Saturday, Sunday, those are my real caloric deficit days, and I'm living on mostly protein and vegetables for most of my calories on those days. So that's really where the weight loss is happening. I'm not worried about losing body fat on my training days. I'm just worried about fueling my training, fueling my recovery, and then hitting that weekly deficit, which is a substantial deficit at this point off the other 4. But I need that recovery and I need that training fuel because I need to get some adaptation out of these 3 big full body sessions. So the dips went well. Pull-ups were a little challenging today. Felt like they were challenging. I struggled with the 3rd set. I think kind of just getting my chin up over the bar. On that last rep on the last set was tough. I mean, it was pretty much to muscle failure for me. Like I was struggling near the end. So that means I'm right at the weight I need to be at. You know, when I'm pretty much reaching muscle failure on the last programmed rep of the exercise for the day, we know we're right at that sweet spot. We're at that sweet spot for loads versus volume as far as hypertrophy goes. And the dips, that's kind of why I'm doing that extra one, because a dip is a more novel lift for me. So I'll probably get some additional training response out of it. So that's why I'm kind of pushing it. And if I've got another rep or 2 in the tank, I'm going ahead and doing those on that final set. Because I feel like my bench is just really, my closed grip bench with me losing weight is like a continual fight. And since those same muscles get worked on the dip, the whole goal is, okay, so if I can progress on this, maybe I'll stimulate some adaptation that will help hold on to that muscle in my pecs, my front delts, my triceps, and will carry over to the bench. And that's my theory, at least. You know, get strong at a similar enough movement using the same muscles that we can, you know, help retain what we need for the other lifts. Same thing with the press. I quit doing the press and I started doing it again, and now I'm working with much higher reps than I had been doing with the press, doing 5s instead of singles, which I know much higher reps 5s. That's funny, but you know, you guys get the idea. Again, stimulating upper chest, delt, traps, triceps, that stuff that's going to carry over. It's going to carry over to these other movements, and I need to have that little bit of novel training response just to, again, stimulate some adaptation, so we can hold on to muscle. Because I mean, I'm going to be losing a lot more body fat, guys. I'm committed to this. I'm going to get relatively lean. We're going to see how far we can push it out. But at this point in the game, you know, it needs to be about body composition, not just scale loss. All right, the goal is not to drop as much scale weight as possible. It's to drop as much fat as possible. And that means doing my damnedest to hold on to every drop of muscle on the way. That means the training has to support it, the diet has to support it, and that's the name of the game. You know, in a way, I'm doing almost my version of bodybuilding training. Now, this isn't bodybuilding training, but it's close as we're probably going to see for my version of it, coming from a strength athlete. This is what I'm doing, and it's about body composition. I am in a pure body composition phase right now, as far as my training and stuff goes. The diet is scaled all around fat loss and muscle retention, and the training is just trying to maximize size first while maintaining a strength base, right? And that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. At least I kept the knees locked on the press today. It felt heavy. It felt a little awkward, but you know, I probably picked an appropriate weight to be doing 5s with. But that's what I'm able to handle. And then we got them cheat curls, compound curls, whatever we want to call them. You guys know what I mean. So people are like, Jason, why do you look over at the camera? Honestly, to make sure I left the camera on. Because before, remember what happened early on when I was filming, like week 5 or something? I forgot to record a set. I forgot to record one of my 225 strict presses. And people are like, you didn't get the 225 today. You guys know what I mean? And I did that day, and I'd done it like the day before, also earlier that week. but people didn't believe it because I forgot to turn the camera on. And so I always double check. A lot of times I peek over if I'm not sure, just to make sure. But yeah, kind of pushed these out as far as I could. Biceps were really tired after the pull-ups, so it was tough. So I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.